The story of human civilization is not just written in dusty books, but forged in the searing heat of fire and iron. Deep within the ancient forge, molten steel glows with a liquid, golden intensity, reflecting the raw power that once shaped our destiny. Each heavy, rhythmic strike of the smith's hammer against the dark anvil is more than a simple act of manual labor. It is the violent birth of a sophisticated technological marvel, a process that demanded mastery over the very elements of the earth. These blades were far more than simple tools of war. They were the ultimate instruments of influence and political dominance. Precision engineered for lethal intent, they dictated the rise and fall of great empires across the vast, unforgiving ancient landscape. Consider the Roman Gladius, a masterpiece of mechanical efficiency that defined the brutal, calculated nature of the Roman military machine. Its short, stout blade was not designed for sweeping, cinematic gestures, but for the claustrophobic reality of the shield wall. In the suffocating tight spaces of a formation, the gladius allowed a soldier to thrust with terrifying, surgical accuracy. It turned ironclad discipline into a relentless engine of conquest, securing the borders of an empire that stretched across continents. Yet, across the Mediterranean, the Spartan Xiphos and the heavy Kopis told a much different, more visceral story of combat. These blades were icons of psychological terror, crafted specifically for warriors who dominated their enemies through sheer, unyielding ferocity. The Xiphos, with its leaf-shaped geometry, served as a reliable secondary weapon for the hoplite in the heat of the fray. But the Kopis offered something more aggressive, acting as a hybrid between a sword and an axe to cleave through heavy armor. These early designs emphasize a cold, pragmatic necessity, proving that the shape of a blade was dictated by its tactical purpose. By mastering the complex art of metallurgy, ancient armies claimed their territory, creating a foundation of power that still echoes today. As we move into the medieval era, the Viking Ulfberht emerges as a true masterpiece of metallurgical innovation from the north. These swords were remarkably flexible and nearly indestructible, standing in stark contrast to the brittle iron weapons of their contemporaries. Forged using pure crucible steel imported from distant lands, the Ulfberht was a technological anomaly that defied its primitive time. Its shimmering, water-like grain, revealed through pattern welding, was a testament to the skill of the smiths who crafted these legendary blades. The distinct inscription etched into the steel remains a symbol of quality, a brand name that commanded respect across the Dark Ages. In the arid plains of the Middle East, warfare evolved to favor speed and agility over the heavy, crushing blows of Europe. Enter the Persian Shamshir, a weapon whose radical, sweeping curve earned it the evocative title of the lion's tail. This blade was useless for the rigid thrusting of a Roman legion, but it was absolutely devastating for high-speed, draw-cutting maneuvers. When swung from the back of a galloping horse, the curve naturally sliced through fabric and flesh with minimal resistance. The swirling, intricate patterns of genuine Damascus steel on its surface were not just decorative, but a sign of superior internal structure. These weapons were the cutting edge of their time, representing a perfect marriage between artistic form and lethal, functional utility. Every curve and edge was a deliberate choice, reflecting the specific environmental and tactical demands of the Persian cavalry. As we transition to the later eras, the evolution of the blade continued to mirror the changing face of global warfare. The transition from bronze to iron, and eventually to high-carbon steel, tells the story of human ingenuity in the face of conflict. We see the shift from the short, stabbing weapons of antiquity to the longer, more specialized blades of the medieval period. Each design represents a solution to a problem, whether it was punching through chainmail or parrying a blow in a duel. The metallurgical techniques required to produce these weapons were guarded secrets, passed down through generations of master blacksmiths. This knowledge was the intellectual property of the ancient world, as valuable as any gold or territory captured in battle. The balance of a sword, the sharpness of its edge, and the durability of its tang were all carefully calibrated variables. A well-made sword was a life-saving companion, a reliable extension of the warrior's own arm during the chaos of combat. It is fascinating to observe how these designs influenced one another, as trade routes carried both steel and ideas across borders. The influence of the East can be seen in the development of European sabers, blending the best of both worlds into new forms. This cross-pollination of technology accelerated the pace of innovation, leading to the highly refined blades of the Renaissance era. Yet, despite these advancements, the core principles established by the ancient smiths remained the foundation of all sword making. The heat treatment process, which tempers the steel to achieve the perfect balance of hardness and flexibility, remains a scientific marvel. Even today, modern metallurgists study these historical blades to understand the secrets behind their incredible, long-lasting performance. They serve as a bridge between our modern world and the ancient past, offering a tangible connection to those who came before. When we hold a replica or view an original, we are touching a piece of history that was held by someone in their final moments. The weight of the sword in the hand is a reminder of the gravity of the decisions made by the leaders of old. These blades were the silent witnesses to the rise and fall of dynasties, the quiet observers of the changing tides of power. They reflect the values of the cultures that created them, from the stoic discipline of Rome to the fluid grace of Persia. The craftsmanship inherent in these weapons speaks to a time when quality was measured by the life of the user. There was no room for error when a sword was the only thing standing between a warrior and certain inevitable defeat. This pressure drove innovation, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with the limited materials available at the time. We owe much of our modern understanding of material science to the trial and error of these early anonymous master smiths. Their legacy is not just in the museum displays, but in the very fabric of the history we study and learn today. As we look back, we see that the history of the sword is truly the history of the human spirit in motion. It is a story of constant adaptation, of learning to survive and thrive in an increasingly complex and dangerous world. These blades are the artifacts of that struggle, the physical remnants of the ambitions that built our modern global society. They remind us that progress is often forged in the fires of necessity, and that our future is built upon the past. From the first bronze daggers to the sophisticated steel blades of the late medieval period, the journey is truly remarkable. We continue to be captivated by these objects, drawn to their beauty, their history, and the stories they silently tell. They are the enduring symbols of a time when the world was shaped by the strength of a hand and the sharpness of steel. Ultimately, these blades prove that the hands that held the steel were the ones that carved out the future of humanity. As we move beyond the ancient world, we encounter a leap in metallurgical mastery that defied the limitations of its time. The Viking Ulfberht stands as a testament to this era, a blade crafted from crucible steel of unparalleled purity and strength. Unlike the iron weapons of its contemporaries, the Ulfberht possessed a unique combination of flexibility and edge retention that was revolutionary. This technological marvel allowed Viking warriors to dominate the battlefield, wielding a weapon that was both a tool and a masterpiece. The craftsmanship required to forge such a blade was immense, involving complex thermal treatments that were centuries ahead of their time. Each sword was a symbol of status, often passed down through generations as a prized heirloom of the northern seafaring clans. The distinct inscription etched into the steel, plus VLFBERHT plus, marks these blades as the pinnacle of early medieval European metalworking capability. Traveling further along the sun-drenched Silk Road, we discover the Persian Shamshir, a blade defined by its radical, sweeping curve. This design was not merely aesthetic, but a calculated evolution that revolutionized cavalry combat through fluid, lethal draw-cutting techniques. The Shamshir allowed riders to maintain momentum, slicing through opponents with a grace that contrasted sharply with the rigid Roman thrust. Its curved geometry was specifically engineered to maximize the cutting surface upon impact, ensuring deep wounds with minimal physical exertion. The blade's balance point was shifted to favor the tip, turning a simple swing into a devastating arc of kinetic energy. These diverse designs, from the icy north to the arid east, were more than weapons. They were instruments that reshaped global geography. Each culture adapted its steel to the specific demands of its environment, creating a legacy of innovation that spans the entire globe. In a final, serene transition, we view these artifacts under the clean, clinical light of a modern museum, reflecting on their legacy. By synthesizing the rigid discipline of the Roman legion with the fluid geometry of Eastern blades, we see the arc of history. The history of human progress is inextricably linked to the hands that mastered the steel to carve out our collective future. From the forge to the battlefield, these blades remain silent witnesses to the ingenuity that built the world we inhabit today. We look back at these artifacts not just as relics of violence, but as profound expressions of human technical and artistic evolution. The evolution of the blade mirrors the evolution of society itself, moving from simple necessity to refined, specialized functional art. As we examine the transition from bronze to iron, we see how humanity learned to manipulate the very earth to forge tools. Each hammer strike on the anvil was a step forward in our collective understanding of heat, pressure, and the properties of matter. The transition from the short, stabbing gladius to the sweeping shamshir represents a fundamental shift in how civilizations approached conflict. This progression highlights the constant tension between defensive armor and the offensive tools developed to penetrate that very protection. It is a cycle of innovation where every improvement in metallurgy forced a corresponding advancement in tactical strategy and combat training. The Ulfberht blades, in particular, serve as a reminder that even in the so-called Dark Ages, human ingenuity remained remarkably vibrant. Their existence challenges our assumptions about the limitations of ancient technology and the reach of early global trade networks. The crucible steel used in these blades likely originated from distant lands, proving that ideas and materials traveled vast distances. When we hold a piece of history like this, we are connecting with the master smiths who labored over the forge. Their dedication to the craft ensured that these blades could withstand the rigors of battle while maintaining their lethal edge. The Persian Shamshir, with its elegant curve, demonstrates a deep understanding of physics and the mechanics of the human strike. It is a weapon designed for the horseman, where the movement of the mount provides the power for the cutting stroke. This harmony between rider, horse, and blade created a fighting style that was both terrifyingly effective and visually mesmerizing to behold. As we reflect on these designs, we see how they influenced the development of later swords, including the European saber. The legacy of the Shamshir lives on in the design of many modern curved blades, proving the enduring nature of its geometry. Each of these historical blades tells a story of its time, reflecting the values, environment, and challenges of its creators. The Roman Gladius speaks to the power of organization, discipline, and the strength of a unified, professional military force. The Spartan Kopis reminds us of the importance of the individual warrior and the necessity of reliability in close combat. The Viking Ulfberht highlights the spirit of exploration and the mastery of materials that allowed them to traverse the seas. The Persian Shamshir showcases the sophistication of Eastern cultures and their ability to adapt to the needs of mobile warfare. Together, these weapons form a mosaic of human history, illustrating our endless drive to improve, adapt, and ultimately survive. The museum setting allows us to appreciate these items as objects of beauty, stripped of their original, often violent, purpose. Yet, even in their stillness, they retain an aura of the power they once commanded on the fields of battle. The light glinting off the polished steel invites us to imagine the hands that once gripped these hilts in desperation. We are left to wonder what other secrets remain hidden within the chemical composition and the history of these ancient blades. The study of these artifacts continues to reveal new insights into the metallurgical capabilities of our ancestors across the globe. Science and history converge here, providing us with a clearer picture of how these tools were manufactured and utilized. As we conclude our exploration, we are reminded that the story of the sword is truly the story of humanity. It is a narrative of constant refinement, where each generation builds upon the discoveries and failures of the ones before. The forge fire may have dimmed, but the lessons learned in the heat of the furnace continue to resonate today. We carry the legacy of these ancient smiths in our own technological advancements, from modern alloys to precision engineering. The quest for the perfect blade has evolved into a quest for the perfect material, driving modern scientific research forward. These swords serve as a bridge between the past and the present, connecting us to the struggles of those who came before. Their durability is a testament to the skill of the artisans who poured their lives into the creation of these weapons. We honor their work by preserving these artifacts and continuing to tell the stories of the cultures that forged them. As the camera pulls back, we see the full scope of the collection, a silent army of steel waiting to be understood. Each blade is a chapter in a much larger book, waiting for the next generation to uncover its hidden secrets. The journey from the forge to the museum is a long one, but it is one that preserves our shared heritage. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the history of the blades that helped shape our world. May these stories of iron and blood continue to inspire curiosity about the incredible ingenuity of our human ancestors.